The rainy season began in early summer, and June had been no exception. It didn't surprise the man when he discovered rainwater dripping from his dining room ceiling. Shrugging it off, he placed a tall pot beneath the leak and expected it to stop on its own. He soon forgot about it and continued his meal with his family. As the night went on, it continued to rain, and before he knew it, the pot would threaten to overflow. He had to dump the water out every day, first thing in the morning, and straight after he returned home from work. Eventually, he began to notice water damage at the source of the leak. The white ceiling had discolored, turning a dull, rusted shade of brown. He checked the weather and realized that it would continue to rain sporadically over the next 10 days. The man was worried about the ceiling mildewing and becoming an expensive repair, so he called a local handyman. Unfortunately, the man couldn't sign to have the repairs done. The handyman explained that only his landlord could authorize it. It was a frustrating policy. The man called his landlord, but couldn't reach him. He left him a few voicemails, detailing how the damage was becoming progressively worse. The man was clueless as to why his landlord would not return his calls. They usually kept in touch, speaking at least twice a month. Finally, his wife reasoned with him that he would not be held accountable for any damages sustained. One night, the man was startled awake by a massive crashing sound, followed by a person stumbling and running out of his house. He quickly turned on his bedside lamp, and just vaguely, he could see an overturned table and a large shape lying across it. He and his wife sprinted out of his house and called the police, gagging at the smell. The man sat in the police station with his family, a blanket wrapped around his shoulders and a coffee mug resting in his hands. He explained his vague account of the man running out in such a hurry. He didn't know much, but he knew one thing was for certain. There had been a dead body in his ceiling, and the water had saturated it so badly that it caved under the weight. Thus far, the body was unidentifiable due to the rainwater and was being autopsied. While the man waited, he called his landlord and finally reached him, panicked as he explained the situation. His landlord was just as alarmed, and the man pleaded for him to come to the station while he made his statements. The man paused as a detective crossed over to him, and he lowered his phone, wondering if the body had been identified. His blood ran immediately cold, and he shook his head with terror. The body belonged to Richard Thompson, his landlord, who had died over a year ago. When he looked down, whoever the other person on the phone was had already hung up. The police later found pictures of the man's kids inside of the ceiling, along with various notes the killer had been taking. They even found small inconspicuous holes used for surveying the home. The authorities were never able to catch the man responsible and didn't have much to go on. It's been years since the event, and sometimes the man still has flashbacks. The latest flashback happened just the other day, seemingly at random, the realization popping into his head. They never found any food up there,